Undocumented Besties, it's Jasmine here. So today I am doing part 2 of my most frequently asked questions related to how the heck was it that I was undocumented in the US but now I'm living in Canada. For background purposes, I am originally from Mexico and I was not documented when I was in the US. So I have my questions ready to go here, so let's get started. Question number 1, did you complete the study permit from within the US? Yes, I did. Because I was undocumented, I really couldn't come visit Canada to see if I liked it or not. I kind of just based my decision on research that I did. But as a sample, I applied to schools in the fall winter of 2019, and then I received my admissions around the spring of 2020, and then I submitted my study permit application during the summer of 20, and then I received my approval in the fall of 2020. Because this was during the pandemic, it took a little bit longer. Usually it'd be a little quicker. So just kind of to describe this process a little better, here is a sample timeline of a study permit. So during the first year, and during March, July, you would research and select your schools. The same year, during August, November, you would work on school application materials. Between year 1 and 2, between December and February, usually December 1st and February 1st are the deadlines to submit your applications to schools. This is when you would submit it. During year 2, between March and May, you would receive your admission decisions. And then right after that, between May and June, you would submit your study permit application. And during that same year, between July and August, you would receive your decision about approval or denial. And based off of that, then you could enter Canada. Before I move on, I forgot to mention that you have to make sure that the school that you apply to is a designated learning institution. I will link to the page where it tells you if it is. You can't apply for a study permit unless it is one. The second thing is that as of right now, the processing timelines for applying for a study permit from outside of Canada is 12 weeks, and that does not include the time that it would take you to provide your biometrics. So I would say at minimum account for like 4 months, which means that make sure you submit your study permit application by May in order to get an approval, or hopefully an approval by the fall, so you can start your school in person. Question number 2, did you need to submit any paperwork to the Mexican consulate? I actually didn't. The Mexican consulate wasn't involved in any way in my process. I never saw the office, I never called anybody, I did nothing related to that. But it would be important if your passport was to expire soon. I'll talk about this a little more in question number 7 because I touch on it more, but no, they weren't involved. Question number 3, did you need to do anything with US immigration before you left? No. So I spoke to 2 immigration lawyers 2 years before I left, and they both kind of told me the same thing. There was really nothing I could do for my situation. So I just left. I was never in removal proceedings. I self-deported. I was never deported. I know some people on TikTok have mentioned that there is some sort of waiver. I'm not too familiar with what that's about, honestly. I was under the understanding that that was more so like if you were in removal proceedings and you wanted to petition to stay, there was like a waiver you can fill out. But honestly, I don't know much about it. So no, I didn't do anything with US immigration at all. Question number 4, this is a very, very popular one that I get quite often. Did you have to return to Mexico before entering Canada? No. So my best friend actually drove me from Madison, Wisconsin through Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, through Blue Water Bridge, and then into Ontario. Once I got to the land border, they asked me questions. They asked us to see my paperwork. I found them to be really nice and accommodating. They did ask me to go into the office, but that was because they needed to issue me my official study permit. And they also took my passport, and then this is what they put inside of it. It's just, I guess, like the equivalent of a stamp. I had honestly a very good experience with that, but I've heard from my brother, my sister, and my best friend who have come a few times now. Their experience at the border has been different, so I don't know if like because they're US citizens it's different than someone who's not. I don't know, but honestly I thought it was a very straightforward and pleasant experience. Question number 5, how did you gain residency status in Canada if you self-deported? Like, I know this is a little hard to understand sometimes, but I completed the entire process while I was undocumented and still living in the US. So I applied to schools, I submitted my study permit application, and after the IRCC gave me the green light to start school online, I started school remotely, so I wasn't there. But once I was required to be in school in person, that's when I came in, and that's when I self-deported. but that was because, you know, I had to leave, so that's how the series of events took place. But as a reminder, I do have a temporary residency status. I don't have a permanent residency status. That's something that I'm trying to work towards. I honestly don't think the process would be different if I would have done the entire thing from Mexico. The only difference is that, of course, I wouldn't be undocumented. I would just be, you know, Mexican national. Question 6, another very, very, very popular question. Did you disclose in your application that you were undocumented? I have said it so many times. I was terrified. I was so sure that if they knew that I was undocumented, they were gonna deny me in a heartbeat. But as I've also said before, do not lie in the application because they will find out and they will for sure deny you. So yes, I disclosed it. I said it in an application. I said it when I submitted my like supporting letter. I don't remember what it was called. I mean, they knew it through my passport and they knew. I made it extremely clear in everything that I submitted. Now, while I was preparing for this video, I found out that as of 2012, the government of the United States and the government of Canada do share a visa and immigration system. I will put that also in the description box in case you want to read more about it. So I don't know what this means. I don't know if the US knows that I left. I don't know if they'll only know if I apply for a visa one day. But I honestly don't know what the US knows about me because prior to giving my biometrics for my study permit, I had never given my biometrics. I didn't have any criminal background, so I don't know what the system would know about me. But because I did pay taxes for years through my individual taxpayer identification number, I know they knew of me. So I don't know what the US knows, and I don't know what Canada knows. I know they know that I was undocumented because I said it. I don't know if it appeared on my record somehow. I'm sure it did. I don't know. I really don't know what this means. I wish I could tell you more, but I mean, I never ran into any problems. I disclosed it in my application and I was approved. So I don't know. Question number 7, are you allowed to leave and re-enter Canada? Yes, I am. Catch you in Mexico this winter. Just kidding. Maybe. But yes, I am, because when I applied for my study permit, I was also issued an electronic travel authorization, or ETA. After I submitted my application to extend my study permit, which I'll get more into later because it doesn't really apply to the situation, this was the notification that I received. And as you can see here, it just says that the day that my passport expires, my ETA expires too. So if I get a new passport, I do need to apply for a new ETA. This is why it is really, really important that you make sure, as I mentioned in question number 2, that your passport is not going to expire soon, because you're gonna have to reapply for an ETA, and that's just gonna be a whole nother thing. Depending on your country of origin, you would need an ETA or visa. I will put the link to this in the description box, but as a Mexican national, I needed an ETA. Were you required to provide a medical exam? I was not. Here is a screenshot straight from the IRC website. Under if you plan to stay for more than 6 months, there is the countries or territories, and that's where you would probably know if you need one. But either way, once you submit an application, they will let you know if you need one and give you instructions about how to do it, because there's a very specific way that they require it. You can't just go to any doctor for this. And for my last question, another very popular one, was I required to provide a background check? So I actually was not. This was not something they asked of me. This is another screenshot from the IRC website. As you can see here, when you apply as a visitor, student, or temporary worker, they may ask you for one. I don't know what the criteria is for deciding. And a police certificate is a statement that states that you don't have a criminal record, and if you do, they ask to see the record. As I mentioned before, I never hid it that I was undocumented. So if they wanted to know more about it, they probably would have asked. But like I said, they never asked me to submit any additional paperwork. Well, undocumented besties, those are actually all the questions that I had for you today. If you have any more, feel free to drop them in the description box and I will make another video or reply directly to them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you to the 106 of you who subscribed to my channel. I really, really appreciate it. So I will see you all next time. Bye.